Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is YC from YC Cooks and Bakes. Tonight I'm going to be making a chicken parmesan, and I did this a couple years back for you, but I never did write down the recipe, and it's been a long time since I made it. So I'm going to be doing chicken parmesan tonight, and I will take you along. So the first thing that I did was earlier today, and I will bring you forward so you can see. I had 3 chicken breasts that I thawed, and I filleted each one sideways. So they're all about the same size now, the way I cut them. Now, if you don't have halved chicken breasts or filleted, you can pound them. If you have real thick ones, pound them so that they're even all the way across. Use your meat mallet. But what I did was, after I cleaned them and everything how I like to do, you do things how you like, I seasoned them really good. So they have lots of nice seasonings on them, and they have been seasoned all day long. So I don't have to worry about that now when it comes to my flour and my breading. These have already been seasoned and sat in the seasonings, for a good while for them to take on good flavor. So, today I'm going to cook these in the oven. You can fry them on top of the stove. I have done that before, but tonight I'm just going to bake them in the oven all at one time, and then continue on with the rest of the chicken parmesan after they bake with the flour and breading on them. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is take the chicken breasts and dredge them in your flour. And of course, if you didn't season your chicken ahead of time, you would also have to season your flour and your breadcrumbs, for them to taste like anything. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and unwrap these because I had them in the fridge. Okay, and you do want to go ahead and spray. Oops, I banged into that. I'm sorry. Spray, and this has coconut spray, a 9 by 13 Pyrex dish. Sorry, I didn't mean to make such a loud noise there. Okay, but right now we're going to take each fillet and dredge it in the flour. Or you can use a sifter and, just sprinkle flour over them. However you want to do it. Okay. So you just go through each one until it has, until it's been dredged in the flour. Okay. And I have 6 of them, so I will bring you back. Okay, I'm back. While I'm here, I want to tell you that when you get the flour on the chicken, you want to let it sit a bit so that it adheres to the chicken. You want to let it sit a few minutes before going on to the next part. And while that is sitting for a few minutes, when I finally get these breaded and put in the oven, that's when you're going to want to get your water going for some kind of pasta, or whatever you choose to put your chicken parmesan on. Whether it be, I don't know if you'd rather have rice or whatever, but it's primarily, usually in a restaurant, you'll see spaghetti or something. And we like to have ours over egg noodles. So this is what we're going to be using because this is what we usually put it over. And so you could have your water going at the same time that the chicken is cooking in the oven, unless you just want to fry it on top of the stove, which is completely fine too. I've also done that. So, and then also too, you're going to use a couple eggs because I have 6 pieces of chicken. You know, 1 egg only goes so far. So you want a couple of eggs that you're going after you dredge the flour, and that you want to dip the chicken through the egg mixture and then into your panko crumbs. And I have a little bit of leftover Italian seasoned crumbs in here. That just because I wanted to use them up and they have flavor. But eggplant parmesan primarily is done with panko crumbs. It's usually done with that. And they are absolutely delicious, as you may already know. So, and what I have on my seasoning that I have on the chicken underneath that flour, I used cracked black pepper, kosher salt, thyme, onion powder, and garlic powder. You can use the seasonings of your choice. Now, after I get it all breaded and cooked and everything, then I season it again when I do the cheeses and the pasta sauce. And I'll be using sweet basil and a little crushed red pepper on the chicken after it's all breaded, because we like just a little tiny bit of heat, a little bite to it, and the sweet basil just rounds it out just perfect. So I'll let this flour sit a little bit longer, and then we will go on to using the egg and the breading. And after that point, you know, we put it in the oven. We'll have our water going for the egg noodles. Okay. Okay, I'm back. I had to run and get the phone too, because I have one more child in online schooling, and all the information comes to me on Sunday evenings. So now is the time for us to take our flour dredged chicken breasts and put it through the egg wash, and then in the panko crumbs, and then in our dish that we're going to be using that we sprayed. So I will put that up here. And let's see. Okay. I've been running all day. Let's see. You just take each one separate like this, and go ahead and dip it in the, and now because we're going to be putting it through the crumbs, we can put it in our dish. Okay. All right. There, and see there's breading on the other side too. See it? It might be hard for you to see with that, the way I have this light. Ugh. Okay. And just keep going until you have them all done in the egg wash. And then in the breadcrumbs. Okay, looks good. And this is what they look like in the dish. And I'm just going to keep going until I have all 6 of them done. Okay, I have all of them, dredged through the flour, gone through the egg wash and the breading. And this is what they look like. And there's 6 of them in here. I know it's kind of hard to tell. And my oven is ready. I have it set at 375, but you can cook them at 350, however you're used to cooking chicken breasts or baking them in your oven. And when these are done, at that time I will bring you back for the next part. But while these are baking, I will have my water for my pasta going and cleaning up and so forth like that. And that's what you can choose to do too if you wanted during that time. And I'll bring you back. Okay, everyone, I just took the chicken out of the oven. It is completely cooked. I used my little thermometer to make sure, and it in the middle of the thickest part of the chicken, they went to 180, and 165 for chicken is cooked. And I left them in for 40 minutes. 35 probably would have been, sufficient, because there's no bone and skin on these, when I started doing this. Now it's time for us to put our pasta sauce on each one. And I'm just using this Reggiano tonight. And I already have the egg noodles done and the vegetables going too. So that's good. Okay. And you want to put a little bit on each one. Okay. I'll be able to lift you up in a minute so you can see how much I'm putting on each one. I don't make it like a, just pour it on like soup. I just put a little bit in the center of each one. You don't want it, so soggy you can't eat it. You know what I mean. And what sauce you use is completely up to you. I just used what was on sale at the time. Okay, a nice marinara is good. This is a regular pasta sauce. And the rest of it keeps in the fridge for something else, for another meal, or you could use it on your noodles. Now my noodles, I put butter and salt and garlic. And you can put, whatever seasonings you like on your noodles. There. Oops. Get that out of the way here. I don't want to get that on my shirt. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to put, of course, is Parmesan cheese. And remember, this is the other part of the pack that I started using at the beginning of this shopping order. And I said that I would use it probably on chicken Parmesan. And I am, but I'm going to cut the bag down to where with scissors so it's easier for me to get down in it. And we just put it on top, like you can see it looks like kind of like a hay. Just kind of sprinkle it on top of the sauce. And this is a very quick supper. I hope it doesn't sound difficult to you, because it truly is not. You could get it done in everything probably under an hour. And like I said, while this is cooking, there, you get your cleanup done and get your noodles cooked, and so it doesn't make it bad at all. I'm going to try to use up the rest of this bag on this, because I'm not going to be using it for anything else this week, and I think it would be good with this meal. There. We'll see, now we got 2 meals out of this, and it was only a 6-ounce bag from Aldi. Okay, and then a lot of places will put mozzarella, and not so classy restaurants will only put mozzarella and tell you it's chicken Parmesan. But chicken Parmesan should actually have Parmesan, like I just put on. And then what I want to put on is provolone, because I think it is more creamy and has more flavor than a plain mozzarella. But you can put mozzarella if you want. But I'm going to put on, this is the deli sliced provolone. It's the non-smoked kind, but if you like to use the smoked one, that's fine too. Your cheeses are your preference, obviously. And there's, let me see. Yeah, there's 12 in here. And I have 6 pieces of chicken, so I'll probably put 2 on each one. First, it'll probably cover up the sauce. So I'm going to show you what this looks like with the sauce and the Parmesan. I'm going to bring you forward. See? You can see what it looks like. You see how I didn't like go over the edge of the chicken. I just went kind of up to it. You know, you don't want it floating in it, you know, in the red sauce. And then I just put the Parmesan on top, kind of like hay. Okay. And then I'm going to put the provolone on top. This one got... Oh, they're all breaking like that. I don't know why. Okay. Maybe if I peel them from the other side. I'm just going to put 2 on each one. And you can just put 1 if you want and cut it in half and even put it on, you know, half moon angles, however you want to do it. And use the other half for sandwiches if you want. But I'm not doing any sandwiches for the rest of this menu, so I don't need to do that. But it's nice to know that 12 come in a pack for future reference if I was doing sandwiches. Okay, I am going to put this back in the oven to melt these cheeses and heat up the sauce on top of this chicken. And I will bring you back where we can plate the meal. And I do hope that you give this a try. I'm going to make sure I put what I did in the description to make my chicken parmesan. So hold on just a minute. Okay, one thing I noticed that I didn't put my spices on that I wanted to put on. So I went ahead and put it on top of the cheese so it will melt with the cheese. And the first one was some crushed red pepper. And then I have some sweet basil. So I'm putting that on now. It'll actually look pretty on the white cheese to have the sweet basil kind of sprinkled, kind of like parsley, you know. And it'll give it some good flavor at the same time. And that's what I wanted to do and tell you. I forgot my spices. I'm just going to put it on the outside. Okay. Okay, everyone. It's supper time. It is time for chicken parmesan, and I will bring you forward so that you can see it. This is the meal. It looks good. And it really doesn't take that long, and it's pretty. It looks delicious, and I can't wait to dig in with my family. I hope you give it a try, and I hope you come back and cook with me. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and I will put this menu item and it's how to make it in my description. Good night.